Hi, it's Katie Skilton here, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make this Hello Pumpkin card. So what I'm going to show you is kind of how to get this inky effect, this ombre effect, using your distress inks onto the pumpkins. So let's get started. So I'm just going to take a piece of white cardstock here. I'm going to apply some distress ink. So I've got my carved pumpkin and my picked raspberry, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of cover the cardstock in this using the inks blended together. These two work lovely together. You get that lovely blend when the colours start to mix with that pinky orange. So I'm just going to cover as much of the cardstock as possible, because then I can die cut my pumpkins from this. So don't worry if it kind of starts off looking a bit rough. By the time they've all blended together and we've added some water and then done the die cutting, the pumpkins come out really lovely on it. So you can keep going and blend as much as you like there. I'm just going to add some more pink here. So I've got some more pink on the edge of my pumpkins. Just blend those until you're kind of happy with the way it's come out. And then I'm just going to give that a spritz of water. So, and then dab with a cloth and you've got that lovely mottled effect there. So I'm just going to allow that to dry, and then I can die cut the pumpkins. So once that's dry, I'm going to use the Autumn Wreath die set, and I've taken the pumpkins from that. I've already pre-die cut some of it. I'm just going to position these so that they kind of overlap the orange and the pinks to give me that ombre effect. So some of them will be more orange and some of them will be more pink. But it's going to give it that lovely, really warm ombre effect. So let's pop those out there. I'll just move this one out of the way. So now I'll take the pumpkins out of the die. You can see you've got a mix of colours. So some will be much more orange, some will be much more pink. There we go. You've got that lovely ombre effect. It's really pretty colours. These colours work really lovely together. The bonus is they match all the ephemera and the papers and things. So when you come into use all that, you've got your matching colours. So I'm just going to take the tops of the pumpkins here. Oh, should have one more. Yep. So the tops of the pumpkins I've cut from gold. So I'm just going to snip those little curly bits off, purely because it's easier to just stick the gold over the top rather than try and have to hide all of those. I'm just going to attach these. Pop those onto the top. And that gold really sets off the oranges and the pinks there as well. That one on there. And then finally the small little pumpkin that we've got. I'll pop that one onto there. So I'm just going to move these to the side a minute, and I'm going to bring in my stamping platform. So I've got a piece of 5.5 by 5.5 inch white cardstock here. I'm going to pop that on, and I want to stamp the sentiment into the centre. So let me just grab my stamps here. So this is the stamp set. So you've got some lovely sentiment. So I'm going to use the Hello Pumpkin sentiment on mine. So I'm just going to place the wreath down so I can kind of position where the sentiment's going to go, and I can stick it down afterwards. But that, I would say, is about central. So I'll pop this one off for a minute. Just stamp this sentiment down. So I'm just going to get some black ink for this. Pop this on. I might need to do it a few times. My ink is kind of coming to the end of the life, so I need to get a new one. But if I do it a few times, that's the beauty of a stamping platform. It'll go over it a few times and it'll all stay in place. That's it. One more. That should give me a nice dark black. Pressure. There we go. Lovely. So let's move this one out of the way. So now this is going to be our base to add everything else onto. So I'm going to take my wreath to start with and just add some glue around on the thicker parts, like so, and can position this so that the sentiment sits in the centre there. So there's got lots of kind of foliage now. So I'll start with the pumpkin. So the pumpkin's going to pop on with 3D foam pads. So I'm going to give those some dimension. Pop a couple of foam pads onto them all. And then just start to build up that wreath and all the layers that go with it. So the leaves I've cut, and I've already pre-cut those, some gold, black and white, because the pumpkins are such lovely colours. The ombre effect gives it such lovely bright colours that actually I kind of want the rest of it to be quite muted colours. Put those down. And then it's a case really with the foliage of just having a fiddle around and seeing where you want the foliage to sit, kind of where you're happy with it to sit. So I'm going to take some of the white ones first of all, I think. I'll start with the white, just curl them a little bit and just add those coming from each side. And you'll see that it all starts to kind of come together quite nicely. So I'll do that again on the opposite side. Just curl those leaves slightly. Pop those coming up there. So now I want to start to kind of fill this underside a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trim these leaves slightly. I don't want really long leaves on all of them. So the gold ones, I only want them to be quite small. I only want the tops of them really. So I'm just going to start to add in some of the gold leaves. And again, I'll do the same to the base. Just add them in. They're popping from the base, but just lightly. And then maybe do the same with some of the white ones. So remember that you don't have to use these full, you could just use a leaf from it, which I'll probably do in a minute just to fill in some gaps. I'll pop that one there and then take this gold. I'm just going to start plucking some of the leaves just so that they kind of come out of the base, and you can just keep going with this until you're kind of happy with how it's turned out. Do that. You can see to me now that still looks like it needs something else. So what I've done, I've got some of these cut from black, and again I'm going to trim them down or pull them apart slightly so that it's not massive branches coming, but you've just got those small kind of ledges coming from the edges. Yeah, and we just need to even it out a little bit on this side. You can just keep going with this really and playing around. I mean, what I would do, I wouldn't particularly stick it down until I'm happy with it. Once I know that I'm happy with the position, then I would stick it all down. So just pop another little one coming from there, and I think I just need a little bit of black there to even off the side. So you can see now you've got that lovely kind of full foliage look going on. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to layer that onto some black card to really pull out that black. So it pulls out the sentiment, it also pulls out those black leaves. I just mat and layer it onto that, and then it can go onto a card blank. That, and then maybe I think it just needs a couple of little bits of sparkle. So I'm just going to grab some gold gems here, and we'll just add a couple of those coming from the wreath. And again, I'm just going to repeat that. I'm just going to add some little small ones on as well, sat next to those large ones. There. Yeah, so you can see that's built up that really lovely. But those pumpkins are really like the main focal point of the card because of the brightness of the colours, and the ombre effect makes it really pretty. I'm just going to show you a few more cards I've created for this collection actually. So there's another ombre pumpkin there. That one was left over when I was playing around the other day. So I thought, oh, that would make a nice card on its own. And I did the flower and the leaves to match. Then there's the stamped image. So this is using the washi tape with the stamps. There's one here just using the cardstock. So this is using the cardstock that is in the collection. And again, this one I've created a wreath, but I've actually used the stamped images for the ephemera. Another little stamped one there. So they can be as clean and simple as you like, or you can add so many layers to it. So this is really using the pattern papers with the washi there. And then finally the ephemera and just building those pumpkins around it. So lots of different ways. This for all different occasions. Don't just think of these, they're not kind of just for Halloween because they're pumpkins. They're beautiful floral images that could be used for many occasions. So thank you for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye.